All right, are you Brian Connolly?
I am, yes.
All right, this is case number 22 CR 21, State of Ohio versus Ryan V. Connolly, you were indicted by the grand jury of this county on Tuesday, February the 1st, on a number of charges. You are a co-defendant with 6 other people. Looks like you were indicted in count 21 and 22. And then count 29, 30, 41, and 32. Okay. All right. So count 21 alleges that on or about June the 28th of last year in this county that Jennifer Eisen and you only sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in amount over bulk less than 5 times bulk. Count, in the vicinity of a school zone. Count 22 alleges on the same day that you possessed the methamphetamine. Count 29 alleges on or about June 4, 2021, you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in an amount over 5 times bulk, less than 50 times bulk in the vicinity of the school. Count 30 alleges that you did that you possessed it on the same day. Count 31 alleges on or about June 4, 2021, you did knowingly sell or offer to sell LSD in the city of the school zone. Count 32 alleges on or about the same day you possessed that. Now, count 21 is a second-degree felony. Count 22 is a third-degree felony. Count 29 is a first-degree felony. Count 30 is a second-degree felony. Count 31 is a fourth-degree felony, and count 32 is a fifth-degree felony. So, most serious offense is count 29, that's a first-degree felony. If convicted, that carries a prison term of between 3 and 11 years as a minimum set by the judge, with a maximum of up to half of whatever term the judge set to be added on by the Department of Corrections. Could be added on at their discretion. So that means that the maximum would be 16 and a half years possible in that charge. And I believe that that is a mandatory sentence as well. So there's no probation, community control, or judicial release. Count 21 and 20, or count 21 and 30 are both second-degree felonies. Those carry a possible prison term between 2 and 8 years as a minimum set by the judge, and a maximum of up to half of the prison term as determined by the Department of Corrections. So that means that that could be up to 12 years as a maximum. I believe that's also a mandatory sentence. Count 22 is a third-degree felony, carries a possible prison term of between 9 and 36 months. And count 31 is a fourth-degree felony and carries a possible prison term of 6 to 18 months. And count 32 is a fifth-degree felony and carries a possible prison term of 6 to 12 months. They also, all of these have fines. The maximum fine on a first-degree felony is $17,500. The second-degree felonies are $15,000. Third-degree felony is $10,000. Fourth-degree is $5,000, and fifth-degree is $2,500. There's also possible license suspension, 6 months to 5 months. All right, now you have the right to have an attorney to represent you in this matter. If you can't afford to hire one, this court will appoint one for you. I see you did fill out a financial disclosure forms. Everything on this correct?
Yeah.
You're working part-time, self-employed. What do you do?
I do construction work for Daniel Court. Matter of fact, mechanic work is how I run into these people. Doing work.
Well, I don't wanna hear anything about that, so. Okay, all right, well, and you, not been in front of the court on this case until this time, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. All right, the court will, appoint attorney William Armentrout to represent you. And in the absence of counsel, I'll enter a non-guilty plea on your behalf. We'll set a bail review hearing, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon, assuming the weather's okay, at 1:30 p.m. by Zoom. Your first pre-trial will be March the 2nd at 1:00 p.m. That'll be a Zoom hearing, unless otherwise ordered. Final pre-trial will be March the 16th, same time by Zoom. And your jury trial will be set for April 11 at 8 a.m. This, given the nature of the charges, the seriousness of them, the court will set bond at this time. In the amount of $50,000 plus your own promises, which is your promise to appear. And if you fail to appear, then you could be prosecuted for an additional felony. And if convicted, sentenced on that, no matter what happened in this case, you'll be required to pay a positive $171 prior to release for certain statutorily required fees. Be under pretrial supervision of the probation department at 117 East Main Street. You'll be required to report to them. You'll be required to provide current phone numbers to home cell employer. Have no contact with the co-defendants. If recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse and mental health issues. And if any treatments indicated, you're to roll in and follow that during pendency of this action. You'll also be under house arrest at your residence at 7035 Green Road, Hillsborough, which means you have to be there at all times unless you're working, going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings, in this or any other case. You go to appointments with an attorney or probation officer, in this or any other case. You can also attend any kind of job training, vocational training, educational programming of any kind, and church services. Other than that, you have to be there at all times. And if you fail to comply, the court could then revoke that bond and have you held to further court. You have any questions, Mr. Conley?
No, sir.
All right, we'll notify your attorney of his appointment, and like I said, our plan is to have a bail review hearing tomorrow afternoon, weather permitting. Thank you. That'll be about it.
Thank you.
All right, are you Devin Sparks?
Yes, sir.
Sparks, it's case number 22 CR 22, Dave Ohio versus Devin Sparks. Mr. Sparks, you were indicted Tuesday by the grand jury with 6 other co-defendants, it looks like, on various drug offenses. It looks like you were indicted in case or count number 17, which is aggravated trafficking and methamphetamine in the vicinity of the school zone, second-degree felony, and aggravated possession of methamphetamine, a third-degree felony. And then in count 27, 28, you're charged with permitting drug abuse, which is a fifth-degree felony. Now, count 17 alleges that on or about May 24, 2021, this county, Jennifer Ison and you knowingly sold, robbed, and sell methamphetamine in amount equal to, bulk amount less than 5 times bulk amount in the vicinity of school zone. Well, that's a second-degree felony, which if convicted could carry a prison term between 2 and 8 years, a fine of $15,000, and possible life suspension of 6 months to 5 years. The prison term is the minimum sentence set by the judge, and the maximum could be an additional 1/2 of whatever sentence was imposed, as determined by the Department of Corrections. So most court could already serve as 8 years, but if that was the sentence, then it could be up to 12 as determined by the Department of Corrections. Count 18, the possession charge alleges that you possessed the methamphetamine on that same day, and that is a third-degree felony, and that carries a possible prison term convicted between 9 and 36 months, and a fine of $10,000. Count 27 and 28, the same charge alleges on or about, count 27 on about June 23, 2021, this county, it's you and Kathy Sparks, being owners, lessees, or occupants of 820 Maribel Street, Hyman County, permitted that to be used for commission of felony drug abuse offense by Jennifer Ison, aggravated trafficking and meth or possession. And in 28, alleges the same thing occurred on July 12th. That time the persons that were alleged committed it were Jennifer Ison and Kayla Ching. So those are fifth-degree felonies which carry a possible prison term between 6 to 12 months, fine of $2,500. All of the charges carry potential license suspension as well, between 6 months and 5 years. Now, you are entitled to have an attorney to represent you in this matter, and if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, then court will appoint one for you. And I see that you did fill out a financial disclosure form. Is that everything on that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, when was the last time you were employed?
Right before I got, yes, right before I went to the Monday Treatment Center.
Okay. Corporal, are you on committee control for a case here in this court?
And mine, no.
Okay, all right, I wondered, you said you were at the treatment center, all right. Court will appoint attorney Catherine Hafner of Hillsborough, Ohio to represent you. And in the absence of counsel, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. I'll set a bail review hearing tomorrow afternoon, weather permitting, at 1:30. That'll be by Zoom. We'll set first pretrial in this case for March the 2nd at 1 o'clock by Zoom. Final pretrial will be March the 16th at 1 o'clock. It'll probably be in person. Well, I'll set it for Zoom for now, we'll see. Trial by jury we set for 4/11 at 8 a.m. Have you been convicted of a felony before?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bail will be set in an amount of $15,000 unless you're held with cognizance, which is your promise to appear. If you fail to appear, then you could be prosecuted for an additional felony. Regardless of acts in this case, you'll be required to pay a deposit of $171 for certain statutory required fees prior to release. If you make bond, you'll be required to report to the probation department immediately at 117 East Main Street. Let's report to them once a week for 4 weeks, and after that, as they determine, undergo random drug tests and may order. By phone numbers from home, cell, employer. Have no contact with any of your co-defendants. Is Kathy Sparks your wife?
No.
All right.
No, that's my husband.
All right. If recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse and mental health issues, and if treatments indicated can roll in and fall in during dependency of this action. You'll also be under house arrest, meaning that you have to be at your residence at all times, unless you're working, going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings in this or any other case, attend any kind of meetings with an attorney or probation officer in this or any other case, and attend any kind of job training, schooling, educational programs of any type. You may also attend church services. Other than that, you have to be at your residence, which is 314 East South Street, Hillsborough, at all times. And if you fail to comply with these bond conditions, then the court could revoke your bond and have you held until further order. Do you have any questions, Mr. Sparks?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Notify your attorney for appointment. Like I said, we'll be going to have this hearing tomorrow. So it's finished.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Sparks, I'm wrong. 2728 is again. Okay, you're Gary Sparks.
Yes.
This case number 22 CR 23, State of Ohio versus Gary Sparks. Mr. Sparks, you were indicted by the grand jury yesterday along with 6 co-defendants in a multi-count indictment. It looks like you were indicted on count 27 and 28, which are committing drug abuse, 53 felonies, which allege that on or about count 27, June 23rd of last year, that you and Kathy Sparks, being owners occupants of 820 Mirabeau Street, knowingly permitted the premises of real estate to be used for commission of felony drug abuse offense, aggravated trafficking, methamphetamine, or aggravated possession by Jennifer Eisen. Count 28 alleges the same thing occurred July the 12th of last year, except it was both Ms. Eisen and a Kayla Cheney. So those are 53 felonies that carry a possible prison term if convicted of 6 to 12 months and a fine of $2,500 and a possible license suspension of 6 months to 5 years. Make sure I got all those charges there. Yeah, okay. All right, now, you're entitled to counsel, Mr. Sparks, and if you cannot afford to hire one, the court will appoint one for you. And so you have filled out your financial disclosure form. It says you're just doing odd jobs, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And the court then will find that you are entitled to appoint counsel in this matter. Court will appoint attorney Sarah Barber to represent you, and in the absence of counsel, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Set your first pretrial for March the 3rd at 1 o'clock. Would you just text or email all the attorneys and tell them to have on? Everyone was all people.
Okay.
And is Mr. Jones from where? Okay, right. And that will be at 1 o'clock. The final pretrial will be March the 17th at 1 o'clock. And your trial will be set for April the 11th at 8 a.m. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
All right. The court will set your bond in the amount of, as an OR only, and that is your promise to appear. And that means that if you fail to appear, then you could be prosecuted for an additional felony, and if convicted, sentenced on that regardless of what happens in this case. You'll be required to pay a deposit of certain statutorily required fees of $171 within 30 days. You'll need to make payment arrangements to do that with the clerk. You'll be under pretrial supervision and probation department, so as soon as you get out of jail, you report to them. I know that the chief probation officer is still at the office because of the weather, but contact them, and if they're not, then you need to contact them tomorrow by phone, or actually call them by phone, and they give you the phone number there for sheriff's office. You'll be required to report to them once a week for 4 weeks, and after that, as they determine under the rate of drug testing that they order, provide current phone numbers from home self-employer. Have no contact with the co-defendants except Kathy Sparks is your wife, right?
Right.
All right. And if recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse or mental health issues, and the treatment indicated you're to enroll in and follow that for dependency of this action. You'll also be under house arrest at your residence at 609 Dickey Avenue in Greenville, meaning you have to be there at all times unless you're working, going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings in this or any other case, appointments with an attorney or probation officer in this or any other case. You can also attend any kind of job training, educational programming, classes, anything like that, and church services. And other than that, you'll have to be there at all times. If you fail to comply, then the court could order you to do or could revoke your bond and have you held for further order. You have any questions?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you.
I just couldn't read that, that's why I was.
Sorry.
Sir, just gotta get everything correct from the judge.
All right, are you Kathy Sparks?
Yes.
Case number 22 CR 24, State of Ohio versus Kathy Sparks. Ms. Sparks is appearing by video. Ms. Sparks, you were indicted by the grand jury on Tuesday, along with your husband in count 27. Let's see what count 27 and 28, along with 5 other co-defendants. And it alleges that on the 23rd of June of this year, last year, in Highland County, Ohio, count 27, on July the 12th of last year, that you and your husband, being the owners or lessees or occupants of 820 Mirabeau Street, Greenfield, unknowingly committed the premises to be used to commit a felony drug use offense, aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine or possession of methamphetamine by Jennifer Eisen on the 23rd, and on the 12th of July by Jennifer Eisen and Caleb Sheehan. Both of these are 5th-degree felonies which carry a possible prison term if convicted between 6 to 12 months and a fine of $2,500, and there's a possible license suspension of 6 months to 5 years. Now, you are entitled to have an attorney to represent you in this matter, and if you cannot afford to hire one, court will appoint one for you. And I see you have filled out a financial disclosure form. Is everything on this form correct?
Yes.
All right, the court will find that you're entitled to appoint counsel. I'll appoint attorney Danielle Witt, Hillsborough, Ohio, to represent you. And in the absence of counsel, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll set your pretrial for March the 3rd at 1 p.m. That'll be by Zoom. March the 6th, 17th will be the final pretrial at 1 p.m. by Zoom, and your trial date will be April 11th at 8 a.m.
Okay.
All right. Now you'll be released on your own recognizance. You've never been convicted of a felony, have you?
No, I haven't.
You'll be released on your own recognizance only, which is your promise to appear. And if you fail to appear, you could be prosecuted for additional felony. And if convicted and sentenced on that, regardless of what happens in this case, now you'll be required to put up a deposit of $171 in 30 days, cover certain statutorily required fees. You'll have to make payment arrangements for that work. You'll be under pretrial supervision of probation department 117 East Main Street. You have to be at all, or you will have to report to them immediately upon your release. Weather conditions are not great. You may want to call up there. I got word the chief probation officer is still there to take in appointments, but call up there and then they'll set you up for reporting time. You'll have to report once a week for 4 weeks, and after that, as they determine, they'll go random drug testing. They may order, provide phone numbers for your home cell employer. Have no contact with any of the co-defendants except your husband, Gary Sparks. You'll be required to, if recommended by probation, be evaluated for substance abuse and mental health issues. And if any treatment is indicated, you should enroll in and follow under pendency of this action. You'll also be under house arrest in Camp Beach or residence at 607 Dickey Avenue at all times unless you're working or you're from work. Any medical appointments, court proceedings in this or any other case, appointment with an attorney, probation officer in this or any other case, you can attend any kind of educational programming, classes, job training, etc., church services. Otherwise, you have to be at all times. If you have to apply, the court could revoke that and have you held until further order of the court. Do you have any questions, Ms. Sparks?
Yeah, I have one. I am in drug class, the IOP in Greenfield at ACM.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that. That falls under medical.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, are you Caleb Leonard?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is case number 22 CR 30, State of Ohio versus Caleb. our Leonard. Our Leonard is appearing from the Justice Center by video. Mr. Leonard, you were indicted by the grand jury of this county on Tuesday, along with 2 co-defendants. Looks like you were indicted in counts 1 through 14. Counts 1, 3. Count 1 is aggravated trafficking methamphetamine, a 4th degree felony. So is count 3. Count 5 is aggravated trafficking in a mental related compound. Count 7 is aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine. Count 9 is aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine in the vicinity of the school. Count 11 is aggravated trafficking of methamphetamine. Count 13 is the same. And then the other counts are aggravated possession. Now, the charge alleged in count 1 is that you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in this county on February 26th along with Lindsay Hornsby. And count 2 alleges the same date you possessed that. Count 3 alleges that you sold or offered to sell on March 7, 2021, you and Ms. Hornsby. And count 4 alleges you possessed it that date. Count 5 alleges on March 11th of last year, you and she knowingly sold or offered to sell on February compound. Count 6 alleges that on that date you also possessed it. Count 7 alleges that on or about March 10, 2021, you and Christopher Owens knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in an amount equal to or exceeding bulk of less than 5 times bulk. Count 8 alleges on about that same date you knowingly possessed that. Count 9 alleges on or about November 3, 2020, in this county, you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in an amount exceeding bulk less than 5 times bulk in the vicinity of the school zone. Count 10 alleges you possessed it at that time. Count 11 alleges that on or about November 6, 2020, you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine over bulk less than 5 times bulk. Count 12 alleges on that date you knowingly possessed it. Count 13 alleges that on or about November 9, you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine over bulk less than 5 times. Count 14 alleges on about the same date you knowingly possessed it. So those are 14 indictments. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 third-degree felonies. Each of those carry a possible prison term between 9 and 36 months, fine to $10,000. There's like 3 4th-degree felonies. Those carry a possible prison term between 6 and 18 months, fine to $5,000. There's 3 5th-degree felonies. Those carry a possible prison term between 6 and 12 months, fine to $2,500. There's a second-degree felony. Count 9 is a second-degree felony. Carries a possible prison term between 2 and 8 years as a minimum, up to 50% whatever term is imposed by the judge as a maximum. So that could be a maximum of 12 years. Fine of $15,000. And all of these carry a possible license suspension of 6 months and 5 years. All right, now, you are entitled to have an attorney to represent you if you can't afford to hire one, court will appoint one for you. Okay, I see you filled out a financial disclosure form. Is everything on this form correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Court will appoint attorney William Armstrong to represent you, and in the absence of counsel, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. So we'll be conducting a bail review hearing tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 by Zoom, the weather permitting. First pre-trial on this case will be set for February the 16th at 1 o'clock. Final pretrial will be March the 16th, 1 o'clock. First one will be by Zoom for sure. Okay, wait a minute here, I get myself confused. First pretrial is March 6th, I'm sorry, February the 16th. Yeah, okay. Final pretrial, March 16th, also 1 o'clock. And the trial date will be April 14th at 8 a.m. Bond will be set in the amount of $20,000 plus your oath of cognizance, and that's your promise to appear. If you fail to appear, then you could be prosecuted for an additional felony and convicted and sentenced on that regardless of what happens in this case. Main bonds will be under the pretrial supervision probation department, 117 Main Street. Required to report to them immediately upon your release, and then after that, once a week for 4 weeks, and then as they determine. We'll have no contact with Lindsay Hornsby or Christopher Owens. If recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse or mental health issues, and if any treatment is indicated, recommended to enroll in and follow that during pendency of this action. And you'll be at your, you'll be under house arrest at your residence, meaning you have to be there at all times, unless you're working, going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings, of this or any other case, and also to attend any kind of job training, educational program, schooling, or anything else. And your address is 7551 Mad River Road.
Yes, sir.
That's where you'll be under house arrest. And if I didn't say it, I'm entering not guilty plea on your behalf. All right. We'll notify your attorney of this appointment, and weather permitting, we'll be having a review hearings tomorrow at 1:30. Thank you.
And is that G? White collar, it is white man. Okay, that was my bad. I'm not gonna white male as long as I speak to my
Not to my knowledge.
All right, are you Christopher R. Owens?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is case number 22 CR 32, State of Ohio versus Christopher Owens. Mr. Owens, you were indicted by the grand jury on Tuesday along with Caleb Leonard and Lindsay Hornsby. You were indicted in counts 15 and 16. And the allegation is count 15. That on or about January 29 of 2021, in this county you did sell or offer sell methamphetamine. Count 16 alleges on or about that same date you possessed it. Now, count 1 is count 15 is a 4-degree felony, which carries a convicted and possible prison term of between 6 and 18 months, a fine of $5,000. Count 16 is a 5th-degree felony, get convicted between 6 and 12 months and fine $2,500. Now, you are entitled to have an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire one, the court will appoint one for you. And I see you did fill out a financial disclosure form. Is everything on this form correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're working at seal type.
Yes, sir.
All right. How long have you been working there?
I've been working there for 3 months. I'm about to become a lead.
All right. Now, you're not currently on community control or anything like that, are you?
No probation or nothing, no, sir.
All right.
I haven't been in trouble in over 2 years.
Okay. The court will appoint attorney Sarah Barber to represent you in the absence of counsel. I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Your first pre-trial will be set for February. No, can't do it that way. February the 24th, 1 o'clock. It'll be a Zoom hearing. Final pre-trial will be March the 3rd at 1 o'clock. Trial date will be March 24 at 8 a.m. Bond will be set as an OR only, meaning that that is your promise to appear, and if you fail to appear, you could be prosecuted for an additional felony, and if convicted, sentenced on that regardless of match in this case. You'll be required to make a deposit of $171 to the clerk's office to secure payment of certain statutorily required fees. If you and then upon your release, you report probation immediately at 117 Main Street. May want to give them a call first. With the weather, I think most of them are not working at the office. But I believe the chief probation officer is there. So you can come call up there first, and then you'll be required to report to them once a week, 4 weeks, and after that, as they determine, undergo random drug testing that they order. Provide phone numbers for home, cell, and employer. Have no contact with your co-defendants. In this case, that's Lindsay Hornsby and Caleb Leather. Recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse, mental health issues, and treatments indicated. You enroll in and follow that during pendency of this action. Also, be under house arrest at your residence, meaning you have to be there at all times unless you're working. Going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings in this or any other case, appointments with probation officer or attorney in this or any other case. We also attend any kind of schooling, job training, educational programming. You can also attend church services and business errands. Other than that, you have to be there at all times. And if you fail to comply, then you could be prosecuted for an additional felony and convicted. I'm sorry, you can have your bond revoked and then be held in custody pending further work report. All right, do you have any questions, Carolyn?
Yes, I work third shift at Steel Type. That gonna intervene?
Yeah, I said you can go to and from work.
Okay.
Yeah, you're allowed to work, absolutely.
Okay.
One of the reasons you're getting to know our mom. All right,
I appreciate it.
yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.
you, Seth Heidner?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is case number 22, CR 33, State of Ohio versus Seth Heidner. Heidner, you were indicted by the grand jury Tuesday. Looks like in a 5-count indictment. The first count is trafficking marijuana that alleges that on or about October 22nd of 2020, you knowingly sold or offered to sell marijuana in this county. Count 2 alleges on or about October 28, 2020, you sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in this county. Count 3 alleges on or about the same date in this county, you sold or you possessed of methamphetamine. Count 4 alleges on or about February 5, 2021, this county, you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine. And count 5 alleges on or about that same date that you possessed it. Now the first and third counts and fifth counts are all fifth degree felonies, which if convicted carry a possible prison term of between 6 and 12 months and a fine of $2,500. The other 2 counts are third degree felonies, which if convicted carry a possible prison term between 9 and 36 months and a fine of $10,000. Now, you're entitled to have an attorney represent you, and if you can't afford to hire one, the court will appoint one for you. And I see that you have filled out a financial disclosure form. Is everything on this form correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will appoint Attorney Jacob Wagner of Hillsborough, Ohio, to represent you, and in the absence of counsel, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. We'll set this for a bail review hearing tomorrow afternoon, weather permitting, at 1:30 p.m. First pre-trial will be March the 2nd at 1 o'clock p.m. Final pre-trial will be March the 16th at 11 a.m. And your trial date will be April 14th at 8 a.m. Have you been convicted of a felony before?
No, sir.
All right. Bond will be set in the amount of $10,000 plus your own recognizance, which is your promise to appear. And if you fail to appear, then you could be sentenced. You could be prosecuted and convicted and sentenced on that charge, regardless of what happens in this case. You'll be under, you'll be required to pay a deposit of $171 for certain statutorily required fees. You'll be under pre-trial supervision probation department, 117 Main Street. So upon your release, you report to them immediately. And then after that, once a week, 4 weeks, and after that, as they determine, undergo random drug testing in May order. Have no contact. Oh no, there's nobody there. If recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse and mental health issues. Any treatments indicated, you'll roll in and follow that during the pendency of this action. You'll also be under house arrest at your residence, and that is that 603 Forest Avenue?
103, Your Honor.
Oh, 103, okay. 103 Forest Avenue in Leesburg, which means you have to be there at all times unless you're working, going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings, and this or any other case, appointments to an attorney, probation officer, this or any other case, attend any kind of educational programming, job training, etc., church services, and business errands. Other than that, you have to be there at all times. And if you fail to appear, you could be prosecuted for an additional felony and convicted, sentenced on that, regardless of what happened in this case. We'll notify your attorney of this appointment, like I said, tomorrow. We'll planning on having bail review hearings in the afternoon, weather permitting, at 1:00, 1:30, so we'll notify your attorney. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, you are Ty Timothy Erskine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on a second. Who's your attorney, Mr. Erskine, in the other case?
David Washington, sir.
Okay. Washington, about the bail hearing on him, tomorrow afternoon. And, all right, Mr. Erskine, have you been in touch with your attorney yet on this charge?
I believe my mother has.
All right.
I'd asked her to contact you, Your Honor.
Well, if you want, I can wait until we can get in touch with him to do your arraignment. Or we can go ahead and arrange you to set a bond at this point, and then have a bail review hearing. We're gonna try to do these tomorrow afternoon, assuming your attorney's available and weather permits. So you wanna wait until we get in touch with him to do this, or do you wanna go ahead and go forward with this?
That would be fine with me, Your Honor.
To wait?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, we'll go ahead and wait and see when we can get in touch with him, all right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you a lot. Have a good day.
That's not your thing.
This person wants to wait and do this arraignment with his attorney, so see if we can do it, either tomorrow afternoon or one day next week.
Okay.
All right, are you Stephen L. Debo?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is case number 22, CR 28, State of Ohio versus Stephen L. Debo. Ben?
Yes.
You go in and check, and see if the great means attorney is the case. All right, Mr. Debo, you were indicted by the grand jury on Tuesday along with co-defendant Greg Ames. And it looks like you were indicted in counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Now, count 1 alleges that on or about February 13th of this past year, 2021, this county issued Mr. Ames knowingly sold or offered methamphetamine. Count 2 alleges on or about that same date you knowingly obtained and possessed it. Count 3 alleges on or about September 23rd of last year in this county, you sold or offered to sell methamphetamine in the vicinity of the school. Count 4 alleges on or about that same date you knowingly possessed it. Count 5 alleges on or about the period between September 23 and February 13. September 23 of 2020 and February 13 of 21. You had in possession a 2014 Marine Corps truck subject to forfeiture due to its instrumentality, commission, facilitation of an offense. Now, count 1 is a 4th-degree felony that carries a convicted possible prison term between 6 and 18 months and a fine of $5,000. Count 2 and 4 are 5th-degree felonies that carry a possible prison term convicted between 6 and 12 months, fine of $2,500. minor count, one is 5. The third count is a third-degree felony, which if convicted carries a possible prison term between 9 and 36 months and fine of up to $10,000. All 4 carry possible license suspension if convicted of 6 months and 5 years. Now, you're entitled to have an attorney to represent you, and if you cannot afford to hire one, the court will appoint one for you. And then there's a second case, 22 CR 39. In that case, you're indicted along with a Wesley Howard in 2 counts, first and second count. And that alleges that on or about October 10, 2020, this county that Mr. Howard and you knowingly sold or offered to sell methamphetamine equal to or exceeding involved less than 5 times involved. Count 2, about the same date you knowingly possessed it. And then count 3 again alleges that no, that's not you, that's Mr. Howard. All right. Now, you are entitled to have an attorney to represent you in these matters, Mr. Devo, and if you cannot afford to hire them, one, the court will appoint one for you. I see you have filled out a financial disclosure form. Is everything in this correct?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you were employed, Mr. Devo?
When COVID started.
When?
When the COVID started,
Oh, okay.
I lost my job.
You don't have any charges currently pending in this court, do you, besides these?
No, sir.
All right. All right, the court will find that your indigent appointed attorney, Dennis Kirk of Hillsborough, to represent you. And in the absence of counsel, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf in both cases. We're doing a bail review hearing tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, weather permitting. They will be by Zoom, but trying to people get to their offices, that we can get to the courthouse here so we can set up a reporting system. Your first pre-trial on this will be February 16th at 1:00 p.m. by Zoom. Final pre-trial will be March the 2nd at 1:00 p.m. And right now it'll be by Zoom. And what date did I send Howard's trial?
Marcia didn't write it down here,
Wait a
Judge.
minute, I've got it here. What's this case?
22038.
April 25th. At 8 a.m. And that'll be the schedule on both cases right now. In case number 22 CR 28, court will set on the amount of $10,000 plus your own recognizance. And in case number 22 CR 39, we'll set it at $5,000 plus OR. The OR bond is your promise to appear, and if you fail to appear, you could be prosecuted for an additional felony and convicted, sentenced on that regardless of what happens in this case. Now, if you make bond in these cases, you'll be under pretrial supervision of the probation department at 117 East Main Street. And you'll be required to report to them immediately upon your release. You're required to report once a week for 4 weeks. Then after that, as they determine, go random drug testing they may order by phone numbers for home, cell, and employer. You're not having any contact with co-defendants in 39, Mr. Howard. If recommended by probation, you'll be evaluated for substance abuse or mental health issues. And if any treatment is indicated, you'll roll in and follow that during pendency of this action. And you'll be under house arrest at your residence at 735 South High Street.
Correct.
Meaning you have to be there at all times unless you're working, going to and from work, medical appointments, court proceedings, in this or any other case. Appointments with attorney or probation officer, this or any other case. You may also attend any kind of business, any kind of educational programming, back to classes of any kind, church services, business errands. Other than that, you have to be there at all times. And if you fail to comply, then the court could revoke that bond and have you dealt with the third quarter. All right, do you have any questions, Mr. Devo?
Is that an OR bond that I got?
An OR plus, in 28 you have 10,000 plus OR, and in 39 you have 5,000 plus OR.